Hello, 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 everybody. Thanks for joining me. Those of you that are already here, and we're going to give just a couple of moments, give people a chance to hop on. So if you can hear me, drop yes in the comments and let me know that you can hear me. For those of you for whom this is your first time seeing me, I am Dr. Tawana. And as a career coach, I work with busy women executives plagued by self criticism, imposter syndrome, stress, and anxiety. I work with them and I coach them to increase, right, their mental fitness so that they can confidently and courageously pursue a path of purpose that is meaningful to them. Thank you for joining today. And if you saw the trailers, you know that today we are talking about, or at least I'm talking about, the biggest issue that mid career and senior women face. And we're going to talk about the solution as well. So I'm going to let me poke around and be sure. Having some problems here with my stuff moving around. So again, if you can hear me, do drop a yes in the comments. I normally like to pop around to my let's see, to my LinkedIn to be sure that that feed is alive, going well. And I also like to pop into my Facebook group. I have a free Facebook group. It's Courage to Transition Your Career, and you are more than welcome to join, right? And so I am peeping around, and I think all the feeds are live today. So it sounds like we just need to get right down to it. So here's the thing, we understand that men and women face different challenges in the workplace. That's a given, right? But at the end of the day, the one thing that we all have in common is we want to succeed. Everybody wants to succeed at whatever it is they're doing. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're in corporate, whether you're in nonprofit, federal government, city, state, local, wherever you are, we all want to succeed, right? Can we agree on that? You know, but sometimes as a mid and senior career woman, though, you might be wondering where you fall along that continuum of stress, of success rather. Like where am I at in that continuum? You know, there's a spectrum of, yes, there's success, there's great success, there's okay success. Where do I really fall? And then you may also be wondering if there's something that's really holding you back, right? And some of us know, we can feel it, and we know that we're capable of more. We just can't figure quite what is it, what can I put my finger on, what exactly is holding me back. And sometimes we can't, right? But if you're wondering if there are steps that you can take to move beyond those feelings and be more confident in your abilities, because after all, you've made it as far as you did, but you're ready to go a little bit further. As they say, jump, run a little faster, jump a little higher, right? And that will actually give you the edge as you compete and vie for the top positions at higher levels within your organization or other organizations, like that sweet C-suite we talk about, right? And so let me just see. I want to pop over here and see if I have any comments. Yes, thank you, Dr. Weaver. I appreciate that. I was going to pop over to see if I was live, and it looks like I am live on LinkedIn. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. And so oftentimes there's one, right? And whether we know what it is or not, but there's the single, here I'm gonna spill the beans up front. The single biggest issue that women face in their careers, right, is one that you could be overcoming right now. And what is it? Women have tendency to doubt themselves. It is doubt, capital letters, doubt, right? Because why the doubt? Why is it the single thing that mid-career women that's like stopping them? Is because doubt leads to self-criticism. It can lead to perfectionism, which can also lead to procrastination, and then hesitation. And that hesitation When you are in charge, when you're trying to work your way into the C-suite, you're doing what you do, that amount, any small amount of hesitation can come off as indecisiveness. And it can really make the difference between whether you move forward or whether you stay stuck where you are. Right? So, yes, the biggest thing that women face in their careers right now is doubt. Why? Because again, it leads to self criticism, procrastination, perfectionism, and hesitation. Which, if we hesitate too long or too much because you need to be decisive, and your lack of hesitation can be picked up by those around you as indecisiveness. And if anyone knows, okay, so Dr. Weaver says you're welcome. If anyone knows, if you had a leader, right, who has that you thought or you knew was indecisive, nothing can kill motivation quicker than a leader who is indecisive and can't make the right decisions at the right time and fast enough, because things move fast, right? All of that tracks back to doubt, right? And so that's it in a nutshell, right? And so the thing is, if you feel that way, if you have doubts, it actually happens at all levels. I'm going to tell you that now. I already said you can be an entrepreneur, you can be the C-suite, you can be on your way to the C-suite, but it actually can happen at all levels, right? And something as small as hesitation and doubt, right, can make you hold back and push back from taking the stretch assignments, taking those risky, they're little risk, but we know that with great risk comes great reward, and with little risk comes small rewards. But when you're doubting yourself and you're hesitating, you don't push yourself into those positions, right? And so, if you want to break through the glass ceiling and rise to the C suite or CEO level, you got to be able to take risks. You have to take risks and make bold moves, bold, decisive moves. Okay. And many women feel insecure in their ability to do so. And that's what holds them back from moving forward in a powerful way. Here are a couple of things we know: women are less likely than men to take risks. Okay. We know that even with hiring for jobs, when not hiring for jobs, when applying for jobs, a woman can know 95% of the job, a man can know 75% of the job. And when both are asked, can you do the job? The man will say way more times than women will, yes, I can do the job. He's got 75%. Yes, I can do the job. Women have doubt. And even with 95% of what it takes to do that job, she will say, I need more training or I need more time. In other words, she's doubting herself. And that doubt can also lead to a lack of confidence in ourselves, a lack of self efficacy. That's the belief that you can do something, right? Women are less likely to ask for promotion or raises than men are. And women are more than likely to second guess themselves while making decisions, which is another reason why they may appear that they're not as knowledgeable even when they actually are, right? So they appear not to be as knowledgeable, they appear not to be as successful in the workplace because they second guess themselves way more than their male counterparts do. And again, it doesn't matter the level that we're talking about: CEOs, mid level, entry level into management, whatever level, this happens with women. Okay. And so we know that this can be remedied if women build confidence. And that's why you have so many coaches. We talk about building self confidence, we talk about building self esteem, because we understand that that's a start. That is a start, right? Into getting over this doubt thing that can affect you in so many different ways in your community when you're at work, right? So, hide that comment. Anybody out there recognizes, or you've seen it with folks that recognize that doubt, or even did you know that doubt can lead to procrastination, low self-esteem, low self-confidence, right? That hesitation that causes you to second guess yourself. Yeah. And it can seem like that's a pretty hard road to toe, but but you can do better. You can do better and you can make it. Okay. And here's the thing, when you have that doubt, you tend to stay in roles way longer than you need to. You stay in a role much longer than what serves you because you have this doubt. What if I can't make it at the next system? What if I don't know enough? What if I can't get there? That's what doubt does to your career as you're trying to make it through to that next level. All right. And I've sat in a room full of, high achieving women, professional women. These were the movers and shakers. And I was, shocked, but not so much as I sat in a room and listened to them collectively say, I'm here, but how do I get to the next level? How do I know that I have what it takes to get to the next level? What's the next level? Right. And that's what doubt does. It causes you to question yourself. Okay, so here are my six. So I've told you what the issue is doubt up front, gave you that. So here are my 6 tips for getting out of that career freeze that can happen. I've talked about it before because when we're doubting ourselves, we're lacking self-confidence and we're procrastinating and it just feels like we're stuck. You're actually in survival mode. We know fight or flight, but there's actually another one that is freeze. And what freeze looks like is sitting stuck in the same role year after year. Tentative to take the step, or you make the step and then you call it back, you second guess. So here are my 6 tips for getting out of that and taking on your next role with confidence, right? So, number one is do ask for feedback. Most people are willing to give you feedback. Some will give you way more than you ever wanted. They will, right? This is important because when you get feedback, because number one, you're doubting yourself, but people around you tend to be fairly honest with their feedback and they can give you another perspective on how you were seen. That's why, a lot of folks, when we're doing leadership coaching, we're doing that 360 because you need to see how everyone else sees you and compare that to how you're seeing yourself. Okay. Now, number two, this is very important. You need to know the difference between being useful to your organization and being valuable to your organization. They're not the same thing. Okay. Because useful means that I like you exactly in the same spot where you are doing the same wonderful things that you do for us. And as long as I don't have to pay you more, I'm really happy you're there. Okay. So you have to understand the difference between being useful to an organization and being valuable. And this will get clear with the next one, right? Number three, you have to be clear and want to achieve and make it clear to your chain of command. You can tell them prime military chain of command, right? What your desires are. Where do you want to go in your career? Because here's the thing. If you have ever said or thought to yourself, wait a minute, they hired somebody for the new role already? I wanted to apply to that role. You've already hired somebody for that? And you're kind of like, but wait a minute, I wanted to. I'm going to let that one marinate just a few seconds for you. Because we talked about the difference between being useful and being valuable. So here it is. If, when you brought this up that, hey, I wanted to apply for this job and I I didn't even know. And they say to you, oh, yeah, this is Mr. So and so, or this is Miss So and so. And I know that you're going to take great care of them. She is the most valuable person on our team. She knows how things are run, she knows what to do. All you got to do is stick with her, and she'll tell you exactly what you need to know to be successful in your career. We'll let that one marinate for a couple of seconds as well. Because even though they use the word valuable to you, you are useful to them. Because if you are valuable to them, they will be introducing you in that new role and not someone else. Know the difference between useful and valuable. Because if you are useful enough to train all the people, and especially if you've been in your job and you've trained your last 4, 5, 6 bosses the last four, five, six directors and all those people, and they've gone on to be in the C-suite, and you're still sitting there training people. You are useful to your company, but not valuable. Okay. If you ever wonder how valuable you are to your company, look at the paycheck. Because if they're saying, oh, she's going to get this and she'll make sure you're taken care of, but your paycheck is less and continues to be less than everyone else they're asking you to train, that tells you that you are not necessarily valuable. You are useful to them. There is a difference, ladies. And some of us get caught up because they say, "Oh, you're a valuable member of our team. If I'm valuable, why can't you keep my raises and my promotions on par with everybody else? If I'm that valuable, you're useful to them. And you're very useful and you're saving them a chunk of change because they don't have to pay you anymore. And they can save that money to pay someone else who they value more than what they value you coming in. Okay. Real simple to look at. Okay. And furthermore, if you don't believe it, you probably heard people say this, or has this happened to you? When you said, I'm fed up, that's it, I got a new job offer, I'm leaving, and then they counter offer because they all go back and get together. Well, shoot, okay, she does that. We can't let her go. That's just way too much. We can't. Okay, now they go, oh my gosh, you're valuable. Let us make a counter offer. Before you decided to go somewhere else, you were useful to them. When they decided to make that counter offer, you became valuable to them. And so when you're stuck in these jobs, understand, are you useful or are you valuable? If you're valuable, then yes, stay where you are and achieve and do more and go bigger and better. But if you're only useful and you consistently apply for jobs, and you consistently ask for raises, and you can't get it, you're useful. You're not valuable. Okay. All right. Number 4, set goals and visualize them. And third, act. You got to do something. Action changes things. You have to move, whether that's nothing more than updating your resume, is going out meeting more folks on your network, reestablishing contact with the network you already have, whatever it is, set goals, visualize, and actually act, right? I'm an introvert. I love to live in my head. That's why I have 3 coaches, because I love living in my head. I am. That is me all day long. And when you're an introvert like that, you can live in your head and never get things done. So you actually have to act. And that's the reason why I do have a coach, right? I have a mentor coach and I have 2 business coaches, because I can get in my head and just stay there. And I can plan and make the most wonderful of plans and analyze and reanalyze and all that stuff and never move forward. But that's why I have a coach to help me move forward. So, yes, great to visualize, great to plan, but you got to do the action. Take action to move things forward. Number 5, find a mentor who has already been successful in your field. They don't have to be your current organization. And again, you can have 2 mentors. I've had more than 2 at different points, right? You can have more than one mentor. You can have a mentor inside your organization. You can have a mentor outside, or you can have both of them be inside or both of them be outside. It's your choice. But do find a mentor that you jive with and who can truly guide you. Okay. Number 6, hire a great coach. Because here's the thing, you know, great coach is going to say, why are you still sitting there being useful to these folks and they don't value you? Right? We would have already covered number 1 and 2 for you. It's like you are sitting in doubt and self-criticism, and you're self-sabotaging yourself and making yourself think you're not even valuable. What are you going to do to move forward? And a great coach is really important if you've been stuck. The longer you sit stuck, the more your self-esteem and your confidence drop, right? And again, I'll say it again. If you have been responsible for training the last 3, 4, 5, your managers, your directors, and your CEOs and people moving up to the C-suite, but you haven't moved there, it yeah, it's time to get help. You've been in that spot for way too long. You've become useful and not as valuable anymore. All right. And so again, working with a great coach, they're going to fit, we're going to work with you to determine out what are your values, and how do they align to that current job that you have? Because if they don't align, why? Why are you still in that job? Or do you really know what your values are if they don't align? Is there a position, do you want to stay with this company? Is there a position that you can move to that better fits your values and that will make you feel more fulfilled when you do them? It's like have that calling. Or is it time for you to move? Right? Here's the thing, longevity is a good thing in business, in your career, but the longer you sit, the more you can be perceived as less valuable to a new company, right? Tech has this down. Tech is like, you can, average is a little less than 2 years. Folks in tech will move a little less than 2 years. Folks in nonprofits and governments, you will tend to be 5, 7, 10 years. Folks in corporate, you can be that long, but the longer you sit, the more apt you are to be seen as less valuable, because someone else may say you're too set in your ways, you don't want to change, you want things a certain way. And so that's why there's nothing wrong with career transition, be it from one role in your company to another role, another division, or to somewhere different. Okay, so just think about that piece of it. Okay, and at the end of the day, the great coach will help you to solve problems by asking questions and seeking solutions. That's the thing. Whether you're asking questions of your colleagues, whether you're asking questions of your boss, your supervisors, or your mentors. Okay, asking questions is a sign of strength, it's not a sign of weakness. And so you got to ask questions, but you got to ask the right questions as well. Okay, so understand again, you gotta take a gamble to grow. Another way is you gotta take risks to grow. And that's important. And when you're assailed by doubt and low self-esteem, self-criticism, you're not gonna take the right risk in the right moments to take the next step in your career that you need. Okay? So it is okay to have a little doubt. Okay. The thing is what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? If any of this resonated with you, and you feel it's time to squash the doubt, it's time to squash self-criticism and self-sabotage, and be confident and move confidently and move decisively out of your comfort zone to move to your next higher height and more success, then just go ahead and drop the word valuable in the comments. When you do that, I'll reach out to you and I'll set up a 15 minutes, a complimentary 15-minute career solution call with you. And we'll talk about what your goals are. And I'll share with you what I do. And then if I'm absolute certain that I can help you, I'll show you how to get started with the next steps. Okay. So I appreciate you hanging in there and staying with me to the end. But remember, if you don't remember anything else, make sure you are valuable to your company and not just useful. So you'll want to be back here next Wednesday, because I will be talking about why so many mid and senior career women get lost on the way to the C suite. Yeah, let's talk about that one. All right. You already got a head start because we talked about that doubt. Got some ways to work through that. But next week, I'll be talking about how in the world, why do women get lost? Why they get lost on the way to the C suite? Okay. So I see a LinkedIn user that said valuable. All right. I will, as soon as I hop off the live, I will hop right over and get you set up. Thank you again for being here. Tune in same time next week. I'll be right here. Take care, everybody.